Hey, how's it going? Newman here. In the background, there's going to be some Team Fortress 2 gameplay, some sniper and some heavy, but that doesn't matter. That's not what this video's about. Today, I'm just going to be telling a story. It's story time. I'm just going to be here talking to you for a little bit. So let's begin. So when I was a kid, when I was in elementary school, I was nonverbal. I was mute. I went to school and I did not talk to anybody except like two or maybe three friends. And that was it. A lot of people actually thought I couldn't talk. They thought people would ask me if I was like deaf when I was like 6. Which is crazy because now I talk for a living. I'm a voice actor. I use I say things for a job. But back then in first grade, kindergarten, whatever, I did not say anything. I remember I used to really love to draw. I really loved drawing. And I had an I had an Easter egg phase where for a year, maybe for like a year and a half, for like a full year and a half, I only drew Easter eggs. I like the symmetry of them. I just like the geometry of it. I draw the little oval, but it's not a perfect oval because the top's the bottom's fatter than the top. The top's a little skinnier, and so you gotta like get the like perfect egg shape, you know. And then I would draw like lines across and like fill them in with like triangles, and then it was so like mathematical to me, and I loved it, dude. I loved it. I could do different colors, and then we'll do a line here, and then we'll do triangles here, and then we'll do another line, and we'll do circles there, and oh yeah, I love me some shapes when I was 6. I love some good shapes. And I did that. And that's all that I did in school for like a year and a half is draw Easter eggs. And I have memories of the teacher, the task in class is to like write, some shit about yourself. And the teacher comes up, pats me on the shoulders. Matt, I know you don't like writing, honey, but just write 2 sentences for me, please. Oh, okay. Because like I didn't really like say anything because like I didn't talk. I was just like, okay. And then I'd write the 2 sentences as fast as I could, and I would just keep drawing Easter eggs. I also had a train phase. Anyways, the story that I wanted to get to the whole time, none of that matters. The Easter egg thing doesn't matter. Forget that. Actually, forget everything I've said. We're going to start the video here now. Is that because I was so shy, because I did not talk, the teachers thought that I couldn't read. Because they would do these reading comprehension quizzes or whatever where you would have to read out loud to the teacher. And I could read fine. But I was so shy and nervous, and I just when I read out loud to the teacher, when I read out loud in front of somebody else, I just couldn't really do it. I was too nervous. And so they thought, they were like, oh, this kid's fucking stupid. This kid's an idiot. So this is first grade. Okay, let's paint the picture. This is first grade. I am 6, maybe 7 years old. Okay? And once every 2 weeks, we got to go to the library and we got to check out a book. Now, they didn't let you just check out any book. No. They based on your reading scores, how well they thought you could read, you got a level appropriate book, right? But they didn't want the stupid kids to think that they're stupid, so it wasn't level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, because then you can quantify how smart people are, right? No, they didn't do that, because they were smarter than that. They used a system of shapes and colors. So if you were a blue triangle, you got to pick out 2 books that were basically Harry Potter in length. You got to pick out 2 long chapter books. And if you were an orange square, you got to check out 1 book, so fewer books, and the books were a lot shorter. So I was not in the blue triangle category. I was more of a red circle. I was more of a, hey, you get to actually check out picture books, buddy. We're going to let you check out picture books, and there's maybe 1 sentence on each page. That's the category I was in. And obviously the whole system doesn't even make any sense because I can look at the other kids. I have eyes. I knew that I was in the stupid group. Of course I knew I was in the stupid group. Emily over there is checking out Harry Potter and the Benedict Society, and I'm reading the Berenstain Bears. Okay? Not even the Berenstain Bears. That was too long for me. I wasn't even in that category. That was the category above me. So I was a red circle. And I would check out my dinky little picture book, which we and again, I'm going to reiterate, we only went to the library once every other week to get new books. And every single day, for about 30 minutes, we had to read the books, or in my case, book, that we checked out from the library. So for 30 minutes every day, for 2 weeks, for 10 days, 30 minutes a day, I had to read this one picture book. So on the first day, I get my book, I'm excited, I'm like, hey, this is pictures, I like that, I'm a picture guy, I think in colors and shapes, remember the Easter eggs? I love me some colors and shapes. And I would read the book, oh, okay, cool, yeah, okay, Jimmy had a birthday party and he liked it, nice, and that was the story, great. And then I look at the clock and there's still 25 minutes left. Okay, cool, we'll read it again. We'll read about how Jimmy had a birthday party again. Great. And so I read the story again and again and again, and I read the story 20 times, and there's still 15 minutes left. So after I'd read the story plenty of times, I would really in detail look at the pictures, and I would imagine I would play Pong. I would play Pong on the pictures in these books. I would imagine a little ball floating, like a screensaver. I would imagine a ball floating across the page, and then it would bounce off something and ricochet. And then it would hit somebody's forehead, and it would bounce a different direction. And it would hit a tree, and it would bounce off the tree and go up, because the trees and the leaves are tilted a certain way, so it wouldn't go down. It would bounce up and hit the tree, and so that's what I did. Is I played I played like computer screensaver with the books in my head. And so then reading time's over, and I'm like, cool, I'm all done with that. That's great. And then the next day comes, day 2. And I have to read the book again. Okay, great. So we'll read the book again. We'll see if James still has his birthday party. Guess what? He does. And then we play Pong. Guess what? It bounces off the tree again. And then I got creative. So I started reading the story backwards. I would start on the last page and read each sentence backwards and imagine a story where, okay, James has a birthday party. Great. Okay, and now James is nervous about his birthday party. That's interesting, right? That's a twist. Usually you're nervous before something happened, right? I would read the story backwards to make a new story out of the one 5-page story, 5-sentence story that I had to work with. So after I read the story multiple times, and I played Pong multiple times, and I read the story backwards multiple times, and that was enough to get through day 2. And now we're on day 3. On day 3, what I learned is that reading the story backwards isn't enough. What if I read the story forwards, but I read each word backwards? I'm going to read each word back and sound each word out backwards. Not the, it's if, right? It's not Jimmy had a birthday, it's if, and I would try and read the entire story in my head backwards like that. And when that got boring, I would read the story backwards while reading the words backwards. Okay, eventually though, I get through the week, and we get back on like Monday, and I persevere, and I get through that. We get to like Tuesday of the second week, and this is like day what, 6, 7? This is day like 7 now of reading the same 5-page book. I really just needed something different to look at. So I'd flip the book upside down. I'd flip the book upside down and read the words upside. I'd try to sound out each letter, because the words get interesting when you flip them upside down. U's turn into N's, B's turn into P's. I would try and read the book upside down. And then the teacher's walking around. And the teacher looks over. She sees me across the room. She eyes me. And I see her looking at me. And I briefly make eye contact with her. But then I break it because I don't know how to make eye contact, and I just look at her crotch. And she's walking over, and her crotch is coming towards me. And then she gets over to me, and she gently taps my desk, and she goes, "Hey, Matt, your book's upside down." And she flips it the right way up for me. And I didn't have the words or the ability to talk. I was too shy to say, to explain myself, to say how badly I desperately needed the real book. So all I did is I went, eh. And so the next week, when we finally went to the library again, when we finally got to check out new books, I was no longer was I a red circle. No. Now I belong to the category of purple square. And the books in the purple square bin, of course, nobody else in the class was a purple square. The books in the purple square bin, well, there was about 2 of them. And I think between the 2 books, they had maybe 2 pages. And then after that, I remember at some point, they stopped having me read at all. And during reading time, they would take me out of class, and I would play Where's Waldo with some old guy. So he wasn't even like a teacher. It was just some old guy. And I would play Where's Waldo with him for 30 minutes a day. A couple years go by. This is like 5th grade, maybe 6th grade. I'm like 11 or 12. This is the TF2 time. I'm a TF2 player at this point. I'm 11 or 12 years old. And we're doing another one of these reading comprehension assignments, these tests. We're doing another one of those. And we have to read a story and then write an essay about what the story was about. Recanting as much detail about the thing as possible to show that we, retained the knowledge of the thing that we read. Coincidentally, this is the same time that the song California Girls by Katy Perry had come out. So I decided that after reading this short story about Tornado Alley, I would write my essay as lyrics in time with the song California Girls. I just wrote right down the middle like a manuscript, like a script, like a movie script. I wrote my essay right down the middle. I had like 4 words a line because every time the end of the lyric it goes to a new line. So the essay went like this: I, new line, know a place, new line, and it's called Tornado Alley, new line. Bum bum bum. I wrote the bum bum bum. I wrote that. I just want to know. This is the greatest mystery of life. The only thing I want to know is the person who graded that. What did they think of my reading level? When they saw this kid write his essay, and it's like maybe 20 words long, and he wrote right down the middle of the page. And it's I know a place, and it's called Tornado Alley, bum bum bum. What is this guy doing? What are you doing? Who is this kid? So I was very much definitely still in reading help at this point. But but by 5th grade, they had abolished the color and shape system. They didn't do that anymore. You could just check out whatever you wanted at this point. Because I don't know, they gave up on Bush wasn't president anymore. I don't know. So I could check out whatever I wanted from the library. So I checked out the Benedict Society. And if you don't know, the Benedict Society is it's like a 400-page book. It's probably the longest book I've ever read, if we're being honest. And so I'm in this reading help group where they take us out of class to go read with the other kids who also can't read, and we all read out loud together, and none of us can read. And I don't know how that's going to help anybody to learn. And so one time I show up, and I'm reading, and the pigeon went, and then the teacher, she notices my book that I have with me. She's like, "Oh, that's actually kind of like a big book, actually." Yeah. Do you like it? Is it good? Yeah. Huh. And you understand it? Yeah. So then I went immediately from the reading help group to the extended learning group. I went immediately from I need help, I'm stupid, to the oh wait, no, this kid's not stupid, this kid's gifted, and we need to put this kid in the gifted class. I said no to that. They tried to put me in that. I read Shakespeare with all the... Why was there so much reading out loud in elementary school? I was so bad at that. They took me from reading out loud with the kids who can't read to immediately reading out loud with all the really smart kids. We're reading Midsummer's Night's Dream, and I don't want to do that. That's even worse for me. I don't want to act out a character. I don't want to do that in front of these people. Of course, that's what I do for a job now. But I didn't want to do that then. And I was just like, no. And I remember the other kids were like, it's okay, you can do it. We won't judge you. And I was just like, yeah, I'm good though. But they really tried to take me from like, this kid's an idiot to like, oh wait, no, this kid's a genius. And I was very adamant about like, no, please just let me be normal. How about stop taking me out of class to go do shit? How about I can just like stay in class? How about that? I would like that. Anyways, that's all I had planned. That's it. That's the story about that. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I got more stories. I got other stories. If you thought this was entertaining, let me know. I'll keep making them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.